All the Caucasians to the back. Immediately.
Capiche, capiche. Tequila lover, astrology nerd. Demon time sipping on some scissor. Swallowed, beat the ground up, was in the bag, and don't forget to. Please capiche. Cult leader, rain boots and a thong. Boosie, 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 all day long. Piss break, happy box, shake your fucking ass.
Yeah. Hey y'all. How y'all doing? Welcome in on this beautiful Sunday. Well, beautiful enough. You know, it would have been even more beautiful if I didn't have to go to work tomorrow morning. Or if I didn't have to go to work today. But work today wasn't that bad. I hope everybody had a good Sunday. Did I say Saturday earlier? Or did I say Sunday? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that we're here to do our last book club of the year. We've read 5 books together as a community. I mean, hey, some people don't read one. Some people don't read one book a year. We've read 5 books together as a community, and I am extremely proud and happy that we actually kept up with it. I will say that this book club probably wasn't going to happen today because I have to I have to go to work like super early, so that's why I started stream up a little bit earlier than normal. And I kind of do want to play a game after this, but we'll see how long. My time limit is 12 o'clock. So yeah. So I feel like this book club is not going to be as long either. Because this book, I don't have to, because normally the reason why the book clubs are so long, normally when I do them, they're like 2 hours, maybe 3 sometimes if we get a real good discussion going. I feel like they're long because I give a retelling of the story in my own words. With this book, there is really no retelling. It's a lot of, you know, it's just a lot of, basically the author Ocean Vuong wrote this when, I guess he was in a time of like grieving, and it's just basically things from what I've gathered from my reading. It's basically things that he wanted to say to his mother, but couldn't necessarily. It was just him putting it all on the page in the book. So yeah, it was a lot. So show of hands or show of people messages, whatever. Alicia's making the country literate. One heathen at a time. I want to note that this is fiction too, so it's not even nonfiction. So what the hell? So what was real and what wasn't? That's craziness. Oh well. It's okay, oat milk. Damn, what was I about to say? Oh, so show of messages. Who read the book in the chat? Who read the book? I just need to see. I need a... No. Okay, I know you did, Mo. Okay. Wow. Wow, you forgot. Of course you did, Rocky. Rocky, I'm gonna put you in Tasha's basement. What's up, Moon Lady? What's up, Draven the Second? Draven the Second, is that... We have another Draven in here? Hello? Well, mayhaps. Oh, okay. It's another. I was like, who the hell? It's your alt for YouTube? Ah, okay. I'm like, what the hell you doing? You cut your thumb while you was washing dishes? What's up, Lil Punny? So nobody read the book except 2 or 3 people? That's crazy. Do y'all not take anything seriously? I don't do these book clubs. Oh, what's up, Coach Mo? You read it? Okay. The Dravens are multiplying. You read the book? Okay. Okay. Just making sure. Cause y'all know I was about to start. And once I start, I was about to start. Oh boy. Okay. What is the book called? On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous. So I'll give my initial, before we get into like the nitty gritty of it all, I'll just give my initial like opinion on the book. It was a hard read for me. Not hard, but like, it was a hard read for me because as I learned, the author is a poet. So they don't write, this story is not written in linear form whatsoever. It's just like, it's almost like, and I don't know if this was his intention to do so. It's almost like journal entries almost. And they just wrote down whatever at that time. And when they wrote it, that's when they placed it in a book. You know, there are some instances in the book where things are cohesive, but it's like they'll be talking about one thing and then go back to another thing. And they'll be talking about one thing and then go back to the other topic. And that pissed me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. Also, the graphic sex scenes in the book of him losing his virginity in his teenage years. I didn't want to read that shit, but I mean, hey, that's just my personal preference. Other than that, the book was I actually liked the book. I don't know. It was like a love-hate for me. It was definitely like a love-hate, but more of a, I don't want to say hate. It just wasn't my style. I probably would have, I powered through this book. I literally read the rest of it today. I powered through, but man, listen. And on that note, this is probably the last time I allow people to pick a book. Cause I didn't want to read that shit. He they were literally talking about 10 minutes of anal. I'm good. You're stronger than me. I power through it, boy. Cause I didn't want, you wanna know what? I did it cause I didn't want to hear y'all mouths. I do things out of spite. So it's just like, if I would have been like, yeah, y'all, I don't think I want to do this book club. I'm not really feeling this book. I would have never heard the end of it. And so I was just like, man, just power through it. So that way you don't have to hear nobody's mouth. And they could never say that you didn't at least try. And I tried, and that I did. So in that case, let's move. We could give you recommendations and you choose from it. I think that's what we're gonna do from now forward. So, Lopani, I'm not taking any book recommendations from you anymore. No offense. No offense. And no, I'm not saying this to be mean. Like, you're young. And so I sometimes have to remember I'm almost 10 years older than a lot of you all in here. And you'll be like, read this book. And I'm just like, and that's not to say I don't like a little whimsy or whatever, but we just probably don't have the same vibe or same taste. And that's fine, you know. What's up, K Majesty? Maybe next time just choose a few people and let them vote in chat or in Discord. I think what we're gonna do from now on is just have people recommend books on the story graph, and then we could pull from there. But I do know the next 2 books that we're gonna be reading next year. The first book is gonna be Ring Shout, and the second book is gonna be I Medusa. Those are gonna be the next 2 books that we read next year. Ring Shout is first. So you don't like reading thrillers? I'm normally like horror, sci-fi, fantasy. But the reason why I was letting y'all pick a book is because I kind of wanted to branch out and get out of my safe zone. But you see where that got me. Oh man. I'm doing good, Vulcan. I can't complain. You've been wanting to ring shout. You can't wait. Yeah, that's the first one. I've been wanting to read it too, so it's a good excuse for me to read it, and then we can have a good solid discussion. I feel like more people will be on board for that book too, as I could clearly see there. Out of how many people in here, only a handful read this book. Y'all made me suffer for no reason. Next time I'm just, you know what? I gotta stop caring. I gotta stop caring about people saying shit. You know, that's a pet peeve of mine. But I gotta stop doing shit out of spite. Anyway, I just want to get everybody's initial reaction to the book. How did you feel about it? What was your overall opinion about the book? Let's just start there. You just read Ring Shout. It was really good. You said it was written by a poet, and I said, nah. Crazy work. I'm proud of you for stepping out of your comfort zone. Thank you, Moon Lady. This is the first time you ever read a book for a book club, all because I was curious. Listen, I only buy books I'm at least 70% sure I like. This book wasn't it, unfortunately. That's at 75, I'm at 70%. I don't know. I don't know what words I'm saying. And mind you, this was a lot. Yeah, it was. So nobody's gonna give their initial thoughts about the book. No, y'all. I should have canceled this one. I should have canceled this one. Like I said, though, my initial thoughts was that the book wasn't bad. I just like a more linear story. I didn't like the bouncing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But mind you, the author's a poet, and a pretty damn good poet, though. I read some of their other poetry, and their poetry is kind of amazing. But I don't want to read a whole book of just like an author like putting all of it on the page and everything being like in poetry form. Like, that's just not my vibe per se. So it was a more personal preference. Personal preference. What's up, Mac? Thank you for the 71 months. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for 71 months of love and support. I did not like the journal entry style. Right. It was on my list. Did y'all not like it? Me personally, it's not a, I'm just saying, it's not a bad book. It's not a bad book whatsoever. Like, I understand why it has such a critical acclaim and like some heat behind it. And I understand why it's been recognized as a good literature. But that's just not my vibe. I'm not really a poetry person to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate spoken word. I hate spoken word. I cannot stand spoken word. I'm not really big into poetry, you know, a little bit, but nothing like crazy. You know, it's just not me. I want to go on, like, when I read a book, I want to go on an adventure. And this book was very much not like going on an adventure. It felt like I said, it felt like the author just put like they bared themselves on the page. You know, I like some of the messages from it about reflecting on the mom's PTSD. So yeah, it felt a little scattered. Even though you didn't like Eternal Dark, you were more passionate about summarizing it, because this book technically can't be summarized though. And that's the part that's just like, that's when I knew that this book club was gonna be a little bit hard for me, because this book can't really be summarized outside of the fact that, you know, the author is writing about their experience being an immigrant, you know, moving here, their mother dealing with, I believe, schizophrenia, and them wanting to find like a relationship in their mother that they knew that they were never gonna get. Them dealing with the fact of the matter, like his father got arrested for abusing his mom. His grandma was his rock or whatever, and she ended up passing away. And a lot of the book, I would say around like 60% of the book, was him navigating his sexuality with you know, with some dude named Trevor, where he, you know, lost his virginity, and that was like one of his first if not his first romantic experience. And when I say very graphic, not very graphic, maybe I'm being a little bit extra. But I'm sitting up there reading. I'm sitting up there cringing the whole time reading it. Y'all know I don't like reading sex in books. Sex on TV only. Oh man. So you don't like smut for real, so you could be dramatic? I'm sure it wasn't that graphic. No, low punny. It was kind of up there. And mind you, he's talking about sex when he's young. It's not even like I'm reading about two adults. Ugh. My thoughts about this was that it was a lot to take from the very start till I got more into it. Then I picked up what it was like, and yes, it did feel like it was written bam right into it. It felt like reading through someone's life, their experiences. So it was a lot to digest. Okay. What was the book called? On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous by Ocean Vuong. I hope I'm saying the last name right. Try some nonfiction true crime books if you want to step outside your comfort zone, but you're also trying to get into the genre. I am not a true crime girly. It's not really. I love, you know, Criminal Minds. I love a good, you know, SBU. And sometimes I'll watch a true crime documentary, but that shit scares me more than scary movies. Like true crime shit, that shit is legit scary to me. So that's why I don't watch too much of it. I remember I watched a documentary on the Night Rider or something like that. Something Ramirez out in LA. That shit, I don't like that type of stuff. So I'll just watch it sometimes. I even like the TV show about old dude who was eating people in his apartment. I don't even like that either. So, but yeah, hold on. So for the people who did read the book, and I also think next time that we do book club, I do have to have a little bit more of a hands-on. I'm definitely hands-off when it comes to book club. I rely on Mo. Thank you, Mo, so much. I rely on Mo. But I think before we start book clubs, we do need to get like a head count on who actually read the book so we don't end up like this again, because goddamn. You're in the voice chat? Okay. Because goddamn, I'm struggling right now. Normally I could wing it, but I was hoping that y'all, I was hoping that y'all read the book so we could go back and forth. But y'all did not. What's up, Mo?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of my context with this book. Okay, so going into this, before I read the book club book, I read The Best We Could Do by how do you say this?
Is it the same
It's a
author?
graphic novel. No, it's not.
Oh.
It's a different. It's another Vietnamese author.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna link it, but it's a graphic novel. But it's really a graphic memoir, if you will, which talks about this artist and their parents' history with the Vietnam War, as well as their in turn their history with the Vietnam War and them being immigrants from Vietnam. And
Stormboard, thank you for the 39 months.
Ironically, I had no idea that would matter going into reading the book that we ended up reading, because it was something that I just happened to read on a whim.
Was that story more linear?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna link it. I think it was something that I had picked up from my library. It was just like I just saw it at the library and I was like, okay, let me just grab it, And I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I like, one thing I know about me, other than like fantasy, sci-fi, and horror, I really like graphic novels. And so that was like a really big thing for me. And I was like, oh shit, my library has it too. I could just go to the library and get it. Cool. It was like a good, smooth 200 something pages, probably more than that. It was very detailed, very complex emotions about the author like trying to come to terms with like their own emotions of being now a new mother, but also their own relationship with their own mother and their own father, and how their parents play different roles in their life, which then turned into them doing a project to ask their parents how they grew up, which led them learning about their parents' lives in relation to the Vietnam War. Obviously, that's relevant because if you read the book club book, on Earth for Briefly Gorgeous, we know that the main characters' grandmother and mother are also immigrants and people who were involved in the Vietnam War, or immigrants from Vietnam. And so that connection, being immigrants, and then the mom's Rose's PTSD, which like turns into it seems like later in life it just increasingly
it seems like it turns into
worse.
Schizophrenia, because even they said it in the book.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's also interesting because like there are some points in time where like it doesn't quite seem that way. Like it seems, and I mean spoilers, because obviously if you read the book, you read the book, and if you didn't, you probably don't plan to.
Pretty much.
when their grandmother passes away, you see this, like, you kind of almost forget that Rose has schizophrenia or has it because of how quickly they go into taking care of their mother, knowing that she's going to pass away and knowing there's nothing they can do, and knowing that at the end of the day they are immigrants in this country that is not going to do much more from them than what they can already do. And they just have to do what they've always known to do, which is take care of their family regardless of how old they are. And so that being what it, like, in that situation, I feel like that's a very good culmination of this book. Because even though it's this, first of all, as we know, this book jumps a lot. Topics. Like it just jumps around. And I personally enjoyed that. But I think I enjoyed that because I read Time as a Mother by the same author.
So because
I read,
So because you've already gotten an idea of the book, even before we decided we was gonna read the book, reading that other book it prepped you for this. Whereas I went in this raw. I didn't know shit. And I'm just like, bro, what's going on? It felt like, you wanna know what it felt like? It felt like watching a movie with a lot of flashbacks. And I'm not particularly a fan of that either. I don't like watching a movie with a lot of flashbacks. Fair. You know?
That's fair. That's fair.
Because I'm here to see the story in its form. If you're going to make a movie with a lot of flashbacks, you just should have made it about the time. You know? I want to watch the story unfold.
Understandable.
Yeah.
That's understandable. I do think, though, that there were a lot of things in this story that I had to reread. And not because I felt like I didn't understand it, but because it was, we were jumping around. There was a point in time where I was like, okay, maybe I do want to get some sort of linearity in.
Right.
Like, I love that so this is a personal context. One of the things that I have been doing for like the past couple years is like continuing to learn Spanish. And what I loved about one of the first parts of this book is when we get the context of the main character, even though he's an immigrant, it's like the othered portion of being a minority, because like in America, there's always like, you know, black, white, you know, Latino, and then you have this other that most people don't talk about, because when he was talking about going to work in work for they call him Chinese fields. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Even though that's not,
he's Vietnamese.
Exactly. But also the fact that at first they weren't even sure if he was that. They thought he was
Mexican. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah.
And so it was just like, I'm just gonna have to learn. Because he was brown. And he just kind of, yes. And so he was just picking it up. He was just picking up the language. And like one of the most poetic parts, and I think I highlighted this whole section, was him talking about the phrase "lo siento," which was like,
I'm sorry.
The fact that, yes, which was like, you know, to us, like, I'm sorry is just like a phrase, but it's also meaning for immigrants, like, that means, you know, grandma's not going to get the hip replacement overseas that they were banking on. The daughter's not going to get put through school that this person was banking on. Like, all of these different things, that medicine's not going to come in. Like,
it's almost like the severity of sorry, you know?
Yes.
Because sorry for some could just be like, oh, like, you know, a brush off. But sorry for others could mean life or death, could mean not having housing, could mean losing a job. So,
it's like, I feel like this book kind of played with like the back and forth of that. It was like there were moments where it was very lighthearted, and then there were other parts where it was extremely heavy. Because
and they would constantly go back and forth between the two.
When I tell you I wasn't prepared for a trigger warning for you know, the act of suicide and the ideations. But when that happened, I was like, oh, I wasn't prepared for that, because you know, there was always that theme of like toxic masculinity with Trevor, or whatever the man's name. Trevor, the child, because that's literally what he was.
Yeah, because he died at what, 22?
Yeah, there was always that theme of toxic masculinity that I just hoped that he would get out of. And the thing though that I loved about the author was that they made it realistic and not made it to where it was like a happy ending, but like something that was like literal and something that you see every day.
And you slowly saw Trevor deteriorate. It's crazy because it happened so slow, and it's kind of like you knew it was gonna happen once the drugs got into it, and then you kind of caught on to his like mental state, but it was such a slow process. And that shit was like crazy because it's like once it happened, I was like, damn, I knew.
Well, and
there
then
it
the other
is.
part that I really liked, I do like that we get to know even at the end of their situation, of their relationship, you still see how much Trevor meant to him, because he literally leaves in the middle of class, because knowing that school means a lot to him, Trevor knows that school means a lot to him. They literally had a whole situation where they go out to eat before he leaves for college. Trevor's like, you can, I believe in you, whatever you want to do. And like that is like the forefront of their relationship. Like at the end of the day, they are rooting for each other. Like that's like, if you take away the sex and sexuality and the romance, at the end of the day, their friendship they are rooting for each other. Like,
I was very happy that their relationship didn't take a turn of Trevor being abusive, because he already had that with his mom. And I was just praying. I was like, please don't let Trevor beat this boy, because I was gonna be so mad. Everything that Trevor went through was internalized, and he rarely did anything to harm. Like at most he would say an F slur, but I mean he could say it because technically
it was it was a lot of, it was definitely more verbal than anything, but it more internalized. Like it was definitely the internalization part.
He was trying to figure it out, but he couldn't accept it. Whereas the author, he already he knew who he was. He knew his sexuality. Whereas Trevor, you get to see him, you get to see the wheels turning and be like, am I gonna, even that line, you remember the line where he was like,
yes, am I gonna be
like this forever?
I wish I highlighted it too. But there's another phrase that I meant to highlight, and I tried to go back and do, but I haven't had time. But there's that phrase when it's talking about submission. And that's the only part that I felt like really gave value. And I feel like this is the only reason why I personally accepted the sex parts of this book, because I feel like it's relevant to everything else. Because when you think about the sex portion, we already know that he is a quote unquote bottom and he's a submissive. But when you take that and you look at every part else of his life, he's submissive in every other part of his life. Every part,
So
then you get that line where he says, being submissive is just as powerful as being that. When I tell you, that line really gave me chills, and it was one of those moments. I had a moment where, you remember when we were reading Tender as the Flesh, and we got to I'm not gonna spoil it, but we got to the end of the book, and I threw my book. That was another moment where I threw my book, because I was like, that is so true.
I was pissed off. I was so, it's rare that I get mad or cry during the written word, but when it happens, I feel it. I feel every ounce of it. The end of that book pissed me off.
Yes, we will have to reread that for book club when.
Definitely.
Like a side treat, but yeah, when the main character is talking about being submissive is just as powerful as being dominant, because I have to be able and willing to be submissive in order for the person to be dominant. I was like, hey, you better write that, because that was a line.
Yeah.
And I don't give a lot of amen corners in books, but that was definitely
But
that was definitely one.
To go back to the part where Trevor was like, do you think you'll be gay forever? Because he basically said, like, I think I probably have 2 or 3 more years of this and then I'll go back to normal. That shit broke my heart.
But I feel like that was foreshadowing.
Definitely. But let's say, for instance, if he didn't, die via ODing, right?
Drugs, yeah.
I think he would internalize his sexuality to the point where he would suppress it. And I feel like there was no good ending for Trevor, especially once
for sure.
the author left. So either he would have been a repressed homosexual, and probably have the same homosexual
Yeah.
and have the same, you know, it's almost like a shadow of his father, right?
Yes.
And
And he tried so hard not to be.
he
So
did.
hard.
He did. And he didn't see a
Oh,
way
so
out.
hard.
And then
He
on
didn't.
top of like going through the motions and maturing and, you know, being insecure about like who you are, like, yeah, I don't feel like there
Yeah.
was a good, and being in Connecticut where they do have a really bad drug problem. I'm not sure if it's as bad as it was back in the, because this was like what, early 2000s, maybe the
Yeah.
2010s, because me and the author are around the
Yeah.
same age.
Mhm.
But yeah, like being in a being a product of your environment, and there's a lot of times you don't see a way out, and that's why he was
Yeah.
the author was like, he saw 7 people and 7 friends
Yes!
in his lifetime die. Thank the Lord I have not had 7 friends in my lifetime die. But and for him to, when that happened, he was so young. That's craziness. You know, just to
'Cause if
think
he
about
was, like,
so much
only a
loss.
couple years younger than Trevor, like if yeah, that's. And also, one of the things that I hadn't realized was when he started to break down, like,
Mhm.
let me see if I can find it real quick so I can read it.
When he kept going back and forth with the oxy, and how oxy at one point
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, you won't get addicted to oxy. It's not addictive," and that was a mother effing
Yeah.
lie.
Let me see if I can find that.
Pharmaceutical companies will burn in hell.
Yeah.
Big pharma
I
burn in
really
hell.
should've- Yeah. I really should have bookmarked that, but let me tell you something. When I was reading this, I was like,
Because it's almost like at that point in my mind, when I was reading it, I was thinking about Trevor, and I was thinking about the breakdown of
Yes.
Trevor, and it was almost like the author was padding it for us, but we knew the inevitable was coming, you know.
right.
So that was like a good little, I like that. There were some moments, I will say, that even though this book has like a lot of times where you could just tell it's poetry, there were not instances of the author just writing things just to write it. Everything had its place, and that is one thing I can give, even though I didn't like the way it was done, because I want, like I said, I want a more linear story. It's a personal preference. But I will say, reading the book, every little section that might seem like it's a little off, or you could tell it's poetry, or you could tell, you know, it's there for a reason, and it always circles back. And I'll give that. I just, you know, I'm picky. I'm just a picky bitch. You know, it's fine.
So let me see.
We definitely got to talk about his relationship with his mom, though. That's
I literally just passed something and I was like, ooh. Oh, okay. So I think I had talked to Deanna about this because I knew earlier on Deanna wasn't gonna read it. I was picking Deanna up from the airport and I had just gotten to the part where her little dog, because I think that's the official name for the main character, is going to tell his mother that he's gay. And one of the most interesting but introspective ways for that to have been written, especially in the context of this character being Vietnamese, is, I don't know that a lot of people understand or know that, because I didn't know this I would not have known this without having read the graphic novel that I read before this. The French occupied Vietnam for a long period of time.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, before or during or before the Vietnam War.
Okay.
So because of that, there's a lot of like French influence. And obviously if you're Vietnamese and you have more information, please correct me if I'm wrong about time periods or whatever. But I digress. One of the things that he says during the story is that when he goes to tell his mother that he's gay, he purposely phrasing, "I like boys," because he doesn't want to use the Vietnamese term, or the quote unquote Vietnamese term for gay, because it is derived from the French word that is used for pedophile. because in Vietnam there was never a word to describe gay before the French occupation.
Of course.
So I was like, that is a crazy thing.
Colonizers.
Is it crazy?
Colonizers.
But I was like, that is a wild. But I was like, that is a wild thing to add here, because that definitely tells you that leans on the stigma, both like culturally in America and like across the border, to being like a double minority here, because you know, here you are talking to your parent who already is kind of weird with you anyway, because you're not they don't deem you as quote unquote manly enough, right? And so when you add that context, when you use a word like that, then you know that already says something else. Yeah. So I was like, I love the context.
Yeah, that is crazy. I that part I didn't really quite understand. That part when I read it, I was like, so what do they mean? Because he was like, there was also another word for girls, that when he was like, I don't like girls, he said, I don't like girls in English as well, because it was another word for girls that it was like a translation thing. Yeah. So
because she didn't speak any English.
Yeah. Only like a few words, but like for the most part she spoke Vietnamese. So so I saw this question because, you know, I always search up questions before book club, and I actually I want to see your take on it. So how does trauma inform the narrative, and are there parts that it doesn't? So are there parts of the book where you be like, I really didn't want to know that, it doesn't add to the story, or where are the parts where it's like the trauma does inform the narrative, and I guess in a way that you could kind of like dissect what the author is going through? Because I will say that the author really doesn't exclusively paint his mom as a bad guy.
No,
it's very neutral in comparison compared to what the fuck she did to him. He's still very neutral about his mother.
But see, here's why I think that that's the case. You have to remember that for the longest time, the little dog was very much used to seeing his father, who is no longer in the picture, doing worse to his mother. So in his mind, he's thinking, well, my mom's not doing that to me, so it's not as bad, or that's not like necessarily, you know, a bad thing. And then you also have grandma who is also going through her own thing, who comes back to like try to make sure little dog is not, because again, you have to remember, like, little dog is the only person in this house that speaks English.
Yeah.
So okay, so let me back up, because to answer your question, I don't think any part of this book is not trauma informed. I think every part of this book is trauma informed.
Okay.
Whether the author or the main character really recognizes it, every single bit of this book is touched by trauma.
Yes, it is.
Like the way that this character acts, everything this character does is touched.
Even in the happy moments where he's thinking about happy things, it always circles back. Like, it's almost like the happy thing reminds him of something traumatic, and that is crazy. When you really think about it. So
yeah, but that's how like real and I feel like this is why I think a lot of people, and I need to look this up really quickly because I need to make sure I told you correctly. But this is why for the first bit of this, I had a hard time like deciphering. But no, yeah, I'm correct. This is a literary fiction, contemporary fiction. Now, here's where
so why is it a fiction book? If this is real,
hold on. So the description of this book for anybody who hasn't heard anything or know anything, the description of this book officially is: On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous is a letter from a son to a mother who cannot read.
Mm-hmm.
Written when the speaker, Little Dog, is in his late 20s, the letter on Earth's a family's history that began before he was born. A history whose epicenter is rooted in Vietnam and serves as a doorway into parts of and serves as a doorway into parts of his life his mother has never known, all of it leading to an unforgettable revelation. At once a witness to the fraught yet undeniable love between a single mother and her son, it is also a brutally honest exploration of race, class, and masculinity. Asking questions central to our American moment, immersed as we are in addiction, violence, and trauma, but undergirded by compassion and tenderness. On Earth, We're Briefly Gorgeous is as much of a power of telling one's own story as it is about the obliterating silence of not being heard. So let me give you, this is why I'm like, it probably would have done us better to read Time is a Mother specifically. Time is a Mother is like the poetry book. It's not a narrative. It's like a poetry book that is nonfiction. It is poems by the author. So Ocean Vuong's mother is deceased. She had cancer. And so the write-in of the grandmother having cancer was an homage to his own mother having cancer.
So his actual grandmother didn't have cancer.
It was his mother.
There is a poem. So I'm thinking this is nonfiction.
No, there's a poem in Time as a Mother. If anyone has read it and you know what I'm talking about, there's a poem called Receipts. It's like either Receipts or Shopping Cart. It's like Receipts of an Amazon. Hold on, let me find it real quick.
So that's where I'm thinking that, because I didn't even think it was fiction. I didn't even look to see if it was fiction or nonfiction. Right? I'm thinking that this is a retelling of his life in a way of like, these are things that he couldn't tell his mom. So he's just laying it all out because she'll never hear them or whatever.
And be that now, granted, that might be the case, rewritten in the character under the name of Little Dog, but for the purposes of like this particular book, we only know it as Little Dog and not Ocean. Now, I haven't like watched any interviews or seen any articles to like confirm or deny that, but this book is purely fiction from the 100% graph of it. Now, are there similarities? Now, I'm sure he might have pulled similarities from his own
real
life.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So that makes me
go ahead.
That makes me look at the book differently now. Now that I know that it is fiction, maybe if I had went in knowing that it was fiction and nonfiction, maybe I probably would have liked the book a little bit better. I don't know. It was just something, because now I'm like, oh, okay. This is why he's detailing his sexual escapades to his mom. But no, like, that's why when I was reading, I was like, you writing this to your mama? She don't want to know your booty hole opened up. Hello?
Please.
But it's the truth.
So in Time as well, that's fair. But in Time as a Mother, there's a poem in the second part of the book. Yeah, in the second part of the book, it's like the third to the last poem, and it's called, so his mom, for context, his mom was actually a nail salon worker. So this is why I say, I feel like we are pulling, fiction imitates reality or whatever that phrase again. So the poem is called Amazon History of a Former Nail Salon Worker. And the poem goes from March to November, where it's the literal poem is each month it lists out, thank you, art imitates life. Each month it tells you a list of items that were bought on Amazon.
Okay.
So like the first month is like Advil, a four pack of Advil, Sally Hansen pink nail polish 6-pack, Clorox bleach industrial size, Diane hairpins 4-pack, Seafoam handheld mirror, and a small white I Love New York t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Skipping a little bit, and where are we at? In July, there is Savvy Land holographic gold nail powder, 6 colors, instant coffee, Advil again, a double-sided callus remover, and Bengay medicated creaming. Now, if you know anything about medicated cream, you probably don't need it because you're dealing with chemicals all day long. Then you jump down to October and you need Cozy Night fleece blanket, Sleep Ease melatonin caps, and Icy Hot maximum strength pain relief pads. Which tells us there's pain involved. We can't go to sleep.
Yep.
And we need to be comfortable. Jump to, what is this? Yeah, jump to December. Only thing there is Advil maximum strength. So we've gone to maximum strength.
Damn.
And I'm skipping months because it's a lot. But
right.
True Grow tulip bulbs. We have officially left the salon stuff. January we don't order anything. February we order a Healthline compact trigger release folding walker. I'm sorry.
Walker.
A Yankee yes.
Okay.
A Yankee Candle Midnight Summer large jar. In March we order Chemo Glam cotton headscarf pink. White Socks women's small 12-pack. In April we order a Chemo Glam cotton scarf with flower garden print. A breast cancer awareness t-shirt that says Warrior Mom.
Oh.
And then in May we order
and this is all in a year.
Yes. In May we order like this is what I mean when I say
this is all in a year. That's crazy.
And then in June we order a birthday card that says, "Son, we will always be together," with a Snoopy design on it. Here's the thing. We are sharing. This is a joint Amazon account. As you're reading this, you recognize the Amazon account is shared by mother and son. And then July, this is a part that got me. In July, there was ordered an Eternity aluminum urn with a dove and rose engraved.
Oh shit!
Small with perfect memories picture frame, 8x11 in black, with Burt's Bees lip balm. And then nothing in August. In September, there was Easy Grow Windowsill Herb Garden, which kind of commemorates the fact that the mother really liked growing plants, because we saw that earlier. And then in October, ABT. And then in October, we see Your Story customized memorial plaque, a white winter coat in navy blue, extra small. And then in November, it was just wool gray socks for 1 pair.
Oh.
And so this is what I mean when I say, there is like artistry in something so simplistic as that, because it does tell a story of two people who have co-inhabited with each other for a long time and who have just lived together. But it also tells a story of a parent quite literally trying to make ends meet as a nail stylist, because we kind of learned that a little bit in the book,
and a single mom,
and we're and then a child who is trying to do whatever they can to comfort their mother, but also trying to keep their shit together too, because they've never dealt with a person.
So do you think that's why in the book he wrote the mother from a neutral perspective, because it was loosely based on? You think it was loosely based off of his mom, or I definitely will say that I personally believe that the way that the mother is written is extremely vivid.
Like that mother, the way that the mom was written is extremely real and lifelike. I feel like I can touch her.
Yeah.
So I feel
yeah,
like,
definitely. Yeah.
I feel like
and the grandma,
the way she's, yes, the both of them. I feel like they both are written extremely well, and even the aunt too, because you can see like the parts where the mom is like, "Hey, yo, fuck that, we finna go roll up there and get Aunt Sally."
But the thing is,
Sally.
But the thing is, it wasn't even where the aunt lived. That's when you got a glimpse into her mind, and the fact that she was either, it was something. It didn't really specify if she had schizophrenia or she was bipolar, but he basically says when she went to the house, like, you know, Auntie hasn't lived here in 5 years. Like, what are you rolling up to a random stranger's house, banging on the door with a machete, and almost got your shit pushed back?
Right. But it also, like, I feel like that moment told you a lot, because it told you that something was wrong. Something was going on, but it also showed you like the kind of person she was on a good day.
Yeah.
Like she was that was something that she was willing to do for her sister. Because like she was willing to roll up there, even with her own trauma of her husband abusing her. Cause like, that's the thing. It's like all these people got, and we're gonna circle back to grandma here in a second and grandpa, because we ain't talking about them enough.
Oh,
we're not talking about them enough.
The fact that her dad wasn't really her dad. Oh God. The grandma was a thug though. Let me tell you. I like the grandma. Grandma was a thug. She was probably my favorite part of the book.
No, for real, because the way she had him going across the freeway, getting them plants, and they was like, "Yeah, we're gonna grab these real quick." And
even her surviving in Vietnam, where the dudes, that graphic scene where the dudes was eating monkey brain. The soldiers was eating monkey brain, and she was just sitting there. She peed on herself because she was so scared, because they were like crazy, like they were gonna shoot her, and she talked her way out of it. Even discussing like
that scene. I think that I don't know that you got this undertone or not. But the reason why, do you remember why they were eating the monkey brains?
It was for like if they had like ED or something like that. Like if they couldn't get it up in bed, they were said to eat some monkey brain, and then you could be hard all night.
Is there not? But do you know that there's not the implication though there that something could have happened to her?
Oh yeah, I didn't get that. When I read it, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Damn. Because that was like that was my first thought.
And she already had the daughter, right?
Yes. Yeah, but you know, she was already a prostitute. Like she already said that. Like she, and that's the thing, was like, even in her mental dementia, whatever she was doing, or she had going on, like she really registers and says like, I did not want to do what I did, but I had to, because I went for to marry that man that I wasn't ready to marry.
Right. Yeah.
And my mom didn't want me to go back to the house, and that was the only way that I could pay for whatever. And so I had to do what I had to do.
And she wasn't ashamed of it either. That's one thing I like.
No, and that's why I was like, grandma is a G, because
she had to do what she had to do. And but the love story between the grandma and the granddad
and the grandfather,
when his grandma died, and then he had the laptop, and the granddad sitting up there confessing everything and crying and confessing.
Yes. Oh. In Vietnamese.
In Vietnamese. That's how much he loved that lady, but they just weren't destined to be together. So basically, just to give y'all a little bit of the backstory about the grandma and his granddad, the main character's granddad. So the grandma met the granddad because, you know, it was the Vietnam War or whatever. And so they met at like a bar, and then they fell in love, and then they got married or whatever. And then the granddad had been sent back home because something happened with the mom, or something. It made it seem like something happened with the mom. So when he went back home, like he couldn't, the grandma couldn't get in touch with him, and he couldn't get in touch with the grandma.
She was trapped. She trapped him there. Yeah. Yeah.
So the granddad's mom, right, trapped him there, and he lost communication with the grandma, the main character's grandma, right? And so by the
Literally.
time she got to America, the grandma got to America, he was already remarried.
Right.
So essentially what happened is like, you know, he lost his one true love because his family didn't want him to be with a woman from Vietnam, essentially, because he was technically legally married to the main character's grandmom, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I guess that didn't take because it happened in Vietnam, so I guess it wasn't real, which is crazy. But yeah, in the end, technically, the granddad wasn't the main character's real granddad because the grandma was already 4 months pregnant with the mom before. But the granddad didn't care. He took care of the kids like they were his own. So
yeah,
that shit was.
He was really the father that stood up because, and I do love that. One of the scenes that I feel like is that I felt like kind of nostalgic about, even though this was not exactly to a teacher to my childhood, but that feeling when you're a child and you know that maybe somebody more affluent than you has like a certain dish that they eat. I think for them it was something in butter or something in mayo. What was it?
A mayo sandwich?
It was something
mayo
like that.
Sandwich.
So when they first moved into the house and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna eat these mayo sandwiches," and they really thought they was the shit. And I'm like, because even though you come from this country where you virtually had nothing, and you're coming to America, and while you still are potentially on the lowest of the low, you still have more than what you had when you were wherever you were. Yeah. And so you are trying to make do with what you have, and so you have these little luxuries that help you feel like you have done what you needed to do to get where you are, and it's like your little reward. It's like when you got your little mayo sandwich, honey, you go eat your little mayo sandwich.
But you want to know what's so crazy is that you see how quickly
yes,
all that shit don't.
Yes.
All that shit, it's almost like you need to, it's like a testament of being grateful in where you are at the moment, because where you are at the moment is what your past self would love to have been or would be now. For instance, me 5 years ago would love to be doing this, but me now was just like, I want more. And so that reading that part was just like, damn, I understand struggles happen and shit gets real, and and you should strive for more, but it's also being present, because you pray for the problems that you have today, technically, that whatever that phrase is. You pray you pray for the problems that you have today, so that's when I read that I was just like, oh damn. But then they got a taste of America for real, and then they had to tighten up and understand hey, there's always room for more, but it's also very hard because of the fact, that they're immigrants, and, people still have, especially back then, still have some sort of beef with the Vietnamese because of the war and shit like that. So yeah, man, hell yeah.
I one of the things about this book that I wasn't really kind of prepared for, when I saw this book, when I read description, I just thought I really thought that there was going to be more of the LGBT aspect of it. Really, this book, I feel like we got more take on the immigrant side, which I personally enjoyed. Yeah. Because we don't really hear much about Vietnamese immigration
at all.
Things. And the issues that have come because of the things that have happened due to the Vietnam War. We know the US lost that war, and that kind of was even talked about in the book a little bit. And I think that that's important because, most people, when they hear about Asian people immigrating from Asia to the United States, we're thinking more
Chinese,
China and Japan and, other places, but not places Vietnam,
Southeast Asia.
And so I feel like that's important because the mental health portion was heavy in this book.
Yeah.
And I love that because, you know, we talk about mental health a lot in the Black community, but we don't really talk about it, or at least I have not heard. And granted, I'm not Asian, so I'm not,
right.
You know, but
we try not to be in Asian people's business, but I mean,
right.
I kind of want to know.
Listen,
I want to know the tea.
But but I thought it was really good to hear, like, to hear the representation of the different mental health struggles that happen. Because we literally hear him talk about addiction being a problem because as a writer, and like as somebody who is a writer and somebody who lived where he lived, because first of all, I was thinking, Connecticut girl, why are we in Connecticut?
Right.
But that's neither here nor there. Like that, like hearing from a writer standpoint, even from someone who's in like a small middle, Tink, if you don't go about your business, thank you. Sorry. Like from like middle America, like what is seemingly a small town in middle America. Like we do not hear enough about
mental health in immigrant families.
Yes.
Yeah. And definitely not. I know this is just one person's take on TikTok, but they were basically like, in their family and in their circles, a lot of the times Asian people really don't talk about mental health as often. Now that was just one person's thing, so I don't know if this is like prevalent throughout the culture of the different cultures of, you know, the Asian diaspora or whatever. But if we really think about it, Black people really didn't start taking mental health seriously until like maybe 5-6 years ago. When if you really think about it, like when the pandemic started, that's when Black people were a little bit more, because it was kind of already on the rise in the late 2010s, right? But once 2020 hit, it was just like, and people had to sit with themselves and, you know, be like, oh, something wrong. Because even with me, the only reason why I pushed to go get tested for ADHD is because I had to sit with myself and I didn't have work to distract me. And I had to sit there and sit in it and be like, oh, I think something wrong with me. I need a little help. So, yeah, man, like, but I feel like that's what any like marginalized group, like we don't ever get the privilege to really sit there and sit in our shit. And I for lack of a better term, because that sounds so disgusting, but it's the truth, because we're either always working, trying to achieve, working because we have to, multiple jobs, doing the things, keeping active to the point where we get so distracted. And so when it's time to actually take the time to evaluate, you know, what's going on mentally and emotionally, it's like we can't do it. Like we just So
yeah.
So,
and Pooh is right. Like people of color have to navigate mental health differently because this system is built to be dismissive.
Yeah. Mac,
Lily,
I'm not clicking that.
my grandparents see or refuse to learn about autism or even accept that you have it. Yeah, and see, I feel like that's true for a lot of people.
I'm not clicking it, Mac. I'm scared.
Your Viet boyfriend's family is very much like that. I do hope that I don't know if you plan on reading it, Leash, but I personally, because this was his debut fictional novel. So I'm planning on reading I literally had it until I just said it. Oh, The Emperor of Gladness, which is another fictional literary contemporary fiction by the same author. It's 402 pages. It's a little bit longer.
I shouldn't have clicked on it, Mac. You pissed me off. I should have known better, but my curiosity gets me every time. Next time I know better, I'm not doing that shit ever again.
So wait, when you said you had read some poetry, which one did you read?
What? In the book?
Well, no, the poetry.
His the author's poetry?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about. I didn't do any research beforehand, which I wish I would have did. I was talking about in general. I'm just not a big fan of poetry.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Written, spoken, or otherwise. There are some poems that I'm like, okay, I could get down with it, but
yeah. I have a couple poems that I bookmarked from Time is a Mother. I think Time is a Mother is probably on my list of.
But I do understand that poetry is an amazing art form. Not to take away, because I don't want people to be like, Leash hates poetry. No, not to take away from the fact that, one, this author is very talented, and I understand why he is getting the recognition that he deserves, because even though this book was not my cup of tea, I can't take away from his literary ability, because it was awesome. It's just I didn't like the back and forth or whatever, because I wanted to read a full story. But I get that wasn't the point of the book. So, but like I said, everything was there for a reason. And I feel like a lot of poetry shit just don't be there for a reason. Should just be there so they could sound, I'm an artist, I'm earthy, right? I feel like a lot of poets do that shit. This book was very much written with the most detailed intention. So yeah. So that's my thing about it.
So there's a poem in Time of the Mother called "The Beautiful Short Loser." I'm not gonna read it because it's not too long, but I feel like people should read it on their own. It's probably my favorite poem in the book, after the other one that I kind of read a little bit of earlier. And this poem made me sob for the fact that it is so, like, this poem, like this book, I feel like this poem is the literal culmination of what this book is about. And because it talks about so many different things, it's giving classism, is giving racism, is giving like homophobia, transphobia, like the issues with homophobia and transphobia. But it's such a good poem.
It's in the book.
It's in Time is a Mother.
Time is a Mother. That's the book that he actually wrote after his mom died, right? I believe so. That's the book that he wrote after his mom died, and then this book came along maybe a little bit after that. I think that was more of like a testament, or like him just getting it out when his mom passed. So
I do like that this was Mo, you know. Hold on. Mo, you know what book needs to be. Oh yes, I will be pushing. There is a book that I will be pushing for. But I trust your recommendation, so you
you put me on to so many good books.
I remember, and I read it. It's a horror book that has lesbians in it. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But me and River and I both loved it. But anyway,
the grandma's funeral back in Vietnam was a very incredible scene with how different some views of gender could be if not for Western intervention. That part. That part.
Because I felt like that was.
You want to know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a Second Line. Because they said that when people die in Vietnam, the neighborhood pulls together and like hires performers to
drag queens
to give them some joy or whatever. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking of a Second Line, because death in like New Orleans, after the funeral, they do a second line, they celebrate. And so that's what I immediately compared it to. I was like, oh, kind of like a Second Line, but
this had a lot of cultural references that, like, if you weren't paying attention, you would miss it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like this book so much. And I really think that the universe just kind of aligned shit for me perfectly to set me up to read this book. Because if I hadn't picked up that graphic novel, I really don't know that I would have digested this.
Yeah.
But I'll put the graphic novel in the.
I'm
the
happy
books.
that you did, because now,
Yeah.
you know, it would have been hard to do this. To do this book club.
Yeah,
I was starting to
like-
get pissed off. I'm like, so nobody read the goddamn book.
No, I have a lot to say about this book, because even though there was a lot of times where I was like, ooh, like there was a lot of times where I had to pause. So if you did you listen to the audiobook?
Nah, you know, I can't do audiobooks. My mind wanders.
So I think that at some point in time, if you ever get the opportunity, like through your library, if your library app has like audiobooks,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to listen to at least, and this is only when you have spare time and you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to listen to the audiobook because it is read by the author.
Oh.
And the audiobook being read by the author, it's kind of like, first of all, did anybody else listen to the audiobook? Because I think that when you listen to the audio, when you listen to the words coming from the author, especially from Ocean, the way that he reads his poetry is very different from the way that he, well, not very different, but it's definitely different from the way that he read this book, because I've listened to him read his poetry before.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell there was extreme amount of passion in the way that he was reading this.
But even when reading the book, like it's like, that's why I said, like, he really put himself in, like, he put himself in the pages or whatever. Like, even reading the book, you feel the passion. It's like the moments, even when the moments are lulling, it's almost like a roller coaster, right? So it's just like, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like an emotional roller coaster for me, but you could tell, like, he left himself in this book. The book is filled with his essence.
This book, when I was listening to this book, it felt like because I like listened and read. There was like parts where I read it on my own, and there was parts that I listened to it. When I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, well, we're gonna have to do it together. Like, I'm gonna have to listen to him while I'm reading it as well.
You know,
because
when
there were
parts where I felt it the most, whenever he talked about his grandmother.
Yep.
Whenever he talked about Trevor. And whenever he talked about like animals and stuff, so any animal reference you could tell.
Oh yeah.
And
when I tell you, it feels like you're listening to a performer, like someone performing the last thing that they're ever going to perform, and this is the last. They're being told, you are about to die, and this is the last thing that you can ever say to anybody. And it feels like I felt every ounce of everything that was put on that paper. It really felt like, it literally felt like this was a letter that he was giving to his mom for real. Like, yeah, she was going to read it. This is everything I have to say. It's
almost like
right
she
on
was
the paper,
looking over his shoulder while he was writing it. And so
this was like, in order for me to understand you, you need to write it to me in a paper, on paper, go. And he was like, I bet. And we just gonna go in the studio. And that's what it felt like. Because when we got to the end, and like, especially like the parts that you're talking about, there was parts where I felt my soul aching, because I was like, there's no way. And especially as somebody who's lost their grandmother, who was like their best friend, that part to me was extremely like lethargic, because he felt like there was literally nothing he could do in that moment. And knowing that, like, especially like how my grandmother passed away, there was literally nothing that I could do in that moment to help anything that was happening. But there was nothing I could do about it. And so and
you could feel the helplessness.
Yes.
But
seeing everybody else
just
doing
getting
all the
like kicking action. You can feel his helplessness when he's describing everything. The most he could do was just have his grandma's head in his lap. That's it. The mom and the sister was doing everything, you know. And it's just like, it was, It was crazy. Even like I said, even though this book was not my cup of tea, I appreciate the moments that stood out to me the most.
Yes.
And that was definitely one of them.
That's right. Yeah.
The death of his grandma and Trevor.
Being the most impressionable chapters. Absolutely.
And the fact that they happened damn near back to back.
Right.
Because he said that Trevor passed 6 months before his grandma. Which is crazy.
Something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like 6 months before his grandma. It wasn't like a years later. It was literally in the same year. Yeah. And so not only did he have to deal with the death of his friend who OD'd, and then now he has to deal with his grandma. Great. Both of his if you think about it, both of his best friends.
His best friends. Yep.
His grandma was his best friend. Trevor was his best friend. So you lose both your best friends.
Think about it. It's what's crazy about this is like when you really think about it for real, it's like two halves of him.
Oh, what's that line? That line where the dad what was it? I literally just read it. I finished the book 2 hours before the stream. When he said I feel like I'm in half. It was something like that, like the father, Trevor's dad.
Yes. Yeah.
He was like, I lost a piece of myself, or I feel like I'm split in half, or something like that. And then the author was basically like, essentially when somebody dies, you do kind of become two people: the person who was with them when they was alive, and the person who don't have them no more.
You are now. Yeah.
Yep. So the fact that you brought that up, like, it's crazy, losing a piece of himself, 2 pieces, which is wild and out of this world. Not wild. Okay. This book, I had to kind of.
It's definitely one of these books where it's like, there's a lot of moments where you feel a lot about it. Very good, very great.
It was a hard read for me.
So out of 5, what did you give it?
A 3. It would have been a 2 if not for the fact that the author is very talented, like I said. But I would have gave it 2 because I didn't like the style. That's just me. Personal preference. Y'all, I want y'all thinking that I'm out here I don't like the arts. I love the arts.
No, that is your preference. I'm not gonna judge you for that.
But
I also gave it a 3.25. So I gave it 3.25.
Okay. Why? So
for me, it was extremely heavy.
Yeah.
Now, and will I read some more of Ocean Vuong stuff? Absolutely not, because I definitely gave Time as a Mother a 4. Time as a Mother is my bitch. Okay, Time as a Mother is my book. Yeah, but this book was. I personally would have liked this to be. I think this would have done better personally. More fleshed out. Like, I wish it was not so short.
Yeah, it was a short book.
I think that if it was a little bit longer and we had a little bit more context,
I wouldn't have read it if it was longer than 250 pages. I'm sorry. I can't lie. I can't read through 400, 500 pages of that. I'm sorry.
Well, I think, but here's the reason why for me, because I personally think that there's some things that I think that we need to kind of get a little bit more context about.
If it was linear, yes, but I needed it to be linear. I couldn't keep doing that.
Now the linearness, I'm not even gonna attempt to ask for that, because I just feel like that was the nature of this book, and I feel like
I know
that. I think personally, it being non-linear was supposed to be.
It's the point. It's the point.
Well,
they did it on purpose.
But I also think that it was supposed to help with the way that the brain works.
True. And as a person with ADHD, you would think I would connect with it, but no, I do not. No wonder it was the reason why it was postponed is because I had a thing the day that we were supposed to do it, because we swapped I had a sponsor stream the day that we were supposed to do the book club. And then the reason why I didn't do it last Sunday is because I don't know. So we chose this. We only postponed it once.
Well, because I worked last Sunday.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, I don't know why we postponed it, but yeah, I only postponed it once, and that was because of money. Thank you so very much.
But
But
yes, yeah.
yeah, this book.
So we're gonna be reading Ring Shouts
You can start whenever,
for
but
January.
yeah, you can start whenever, but we just got to figure out what we gonna give y'all, a month and a half.
So the end of January.
No, because January is literally like a couple days.
What's at the end of January?
The end of January? No, I'm thinking like middle February. It's like the 8th or the 15th.
Okay, so the 15th.
Of February, yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna be at work.
your birthdays.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm gonna be at work.
Oh, the 8th?
I will be off the 8th.
So you want to
The only
do
reason why I know is because I have to work my birthday.
your birthday's on the 15th?
My birthday's on the 13th, but I know that Friday I'm supposed to go into work, but I'm calling out.
Of course. Oh, your birthday's Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's gonna get spooky. It's gonna get spooky on your
Because
birthday.
Photon's birthday is the Monday after book club on the 8th, and then Deanna's is on that Wednesday, and then mine's on that Friday.
Wait, what? So Photon's is the 9th.
Yeah.
Deanna's the 11th.
Deanna's is the 11th.
And yours is the 13th.
Yeah.
Oh man. Good thing I'm drinking again in February. Yay! That's gonna be a drunk ass week. Let me tell you something.
Please.
Oh man.
Oh.
Yeah, the book is called Ring Shout. Yes. It has a Klans member on the front. Don't ask.
Mm-hmm.
The book was written by a black lady though. I think a black lady or a black man.
It's a black man.
Black man.
So I'm gonna encourage all of you that if you do not have a story graph, I would encourage you to get one.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna try to be as active as possible this year in story graph.
Yes.
Let me.
We have the don't we have the thing? Book club.
Yeah, but I was trying to link the book specific.
Oh, the actual book. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
There you go. So there you go, YouTube. And then I just had it at the beginning of the stream.
What?
And I should, because literally Ring Shot was the first book I read this year.
Since we're bringing up birthdays, yours is in 2.5 hours. Hey, I don't have no wait. I don't have alcohol. It's literally a swig. I have
okay.
Let's go, Rain. Hey, Capricorn season. I love Capricorns.
So February the 8th.
Yes, that's Sunday. You know we do it on Sunday.
Yeah.
Sundays are for book clubs.
Okay. I'm gonna make a there we go. There's the book. I'm gonna do for February January and February.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also gonna make up a form for book suggestions.
Yes. Because we're no longer allowing you all to pick books. We're just gonna go by the suggestions and just pick from there.
Storygraph is free. Also, if you do not have Storygraph, this is the thing. Janae has posted it several times in the book channel, but Storygraph or in the Discord, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Storygraph is in the month of January. If you read a page a day or a few minutes a day, and you like track it through Storygraph, you'll have the opportunity to win.
To what?
Other prizes. In.
You can win prizes?
Yes, Storygraph has like a page a day. So you'll be able, 5 winners will be able to win a Kobo Clara color and the remote.
I don't know what that is.
Libro. It's an e-reader that's not a Kindle. Not on this app. Anyway, 12 Libro.fm audiobook credits, which is a Audible alternative. $100 or pounds or euro credit to spend on bookshop.org, which again is an Amazon alternative, a book voucher to spend at Blackwell's, and a year subscription to the Plus plan for Storygraph. So there you go.
Oh.
That's all in.
I love prizes.
Yeah, but in order to qualify for it, to be able to win that, you have to read a single page a day.
Oh,
a single page a day. That's it.
A page a day ain't nothing.
Yeah, a page a day. That's,
try 20. Let's do.
Can we? If you're nasty,
20 pages. 20 pages a day.
Now some people ain't got that time. 2 pages if you're nasty, and it don't even gotta be a textbook. Look, if you wanna read a graphic novel, that's a page of a graphic novel that counts.
That does count, but you can read 20.
And it doesn't even have to be technically pages.
Well, let me shut up, because I read my books in 2 days at the last minute.
It can be right. It can be. Hold on. What is it? Yeah, it can be a single page or a single page, or listen to 1 minute of an audiobook. You don't even see audiobooks count. So it starts on the 1st. You have to make sure you sign up for it. All of that information is in the Discord. I will re-ping it and all of that stuff for everybody if you want to see it. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure all of y'all are able to, get all the shit y'all want to get if y'all want to get it.
Hell yeah.
Do you have any reading goals for the year?
What, next year?
Yeah.
To read an additional book outside of our I think this year we read 5 books, and those were the only 5 books that I read. So I want to at least read about like 7, 8, and 2, 3 of them don't have to be book club. Something I want to read personally. So yeah, that's my goal. Honestly, really, truly, I'm proud of us though. A lot of people didn't think this shit was gonna last, and look at us, Mo. A lot of people, and I ain't gonna say no names.
I have to get him on the mic every time. I'm gonna have to get on the mic every time, because I feel like this one went how you probably wanted it to go.
Yes, I wanted to. I do next year want it to be more of a discussion. With people in the community who aren't like shy. Like I want, like talk to me. Y'all won't talk to me when it's time to drink.
Please.
It's the truth. When it's time to drink and party, that's when y'all you won't shut up. When it's time to read, motherfucker. Y'all don't want to talk. I find that very funny. Okay.
Oh, you in the book club in August?
Shut up, Poog.
Well, Poog is going back to the, school
start. You are going back to school. Oh, well, I take back what I said. Right? Don't make me drink alone. Y'all make me read alone. Excuse you. I've read and talked here. You have, Trend. You have. I'm sorry. I apologize, but still, stop being shy. God damn it. Trent was your representative. You can't commit to a book. I have no other words, because if I say anything, Mo, it's going to be used against me in the court of law.
Please.
Thank you.
Are there any genres that you want to branch out?
I do. Next year, for the book club, I want to read 1 nonfiction, because I never read nonfiction. Because I hate nonfiction. And I thought this book was nonfiction.
I'm trying to think of a nonfiction.
That's not self-help.
No.
Okay, because I'm not trying to read. I hate self-help books.
No.
I want to read 1 nonfiction next year.
Would you be interested in reading like Audre Lorde nonfiction?
Or we could do bell hooks.
Because I have what is the name of that book? Because it's literally, because I was gonna read it for what is it called? All About Love.
I'm down. It's either bell hooks or Audre Lorde. I'm fine.
Because I have a collection of Audre Lorde essays.
If I do nonfiction, it does have to be written by a Black woman. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to read 1 nonfiction next year and for book club, and I want to do Honestly, that's about it. Everything else, well, I could switch up the genres and shit like that, but I do want to make it a point to do nonfiction next year. So,
Ooh, I finished. We're steering off, and I apologize.
it's fine.
But I finished The Reformatory.
You did.
And
That book made me cry. Remember, I text y'all in the group chat, and I was like, "This book made me cry."
Well, but that has a list of nonfiction essays by Black women at the end, and if you're more interested about some of that shit, you can pull from that.
I could. You're right.
Because I'm like, damn, girl, we could pull from this shit. I was like, hold on, let me pull some of them essays and articles up.
Yeah, that book made me.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I read it this year too.
Yeah.
Did I read?
Let me tell you something. What's crazy?
It was either this year or last.
What's crazy is I literally said to myself, I'm gonna have to read that next year, because every time I tried to start it, I was like, oh.
The Reformatory. Y'all talking about this was deep, but the Reformatory.
But the Reformatory is actually really heavy, and I'm very glad we did not pick that as a book club book, because when I finally got to it, I was like, oh.
And it was based on a true story, kind of, sort of, loosely based, but still based on a true story. I was just, Jesus Christ.
You found all about love kind of underwhelming? Ooh, I will keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah, we can do some bell hooks up in here. Let's read some bell hooks, somebody. Maya Angelou wrote a couple of.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah,
I love Maya. Okay. So.
Hell, we need to see if what's her face did some nonfiction too.
Who?
Names always elude me.
Same.
Who we were reading?
I don't know nobody name.
We were reading initially.
Oh, Octavia Butler?
Yeah.
She's wrote a couple of nonfiction, but I think they're very short though. But the books we read don't have to be long. But I think she's wrote one or two nonfiction novels. But we have to make it a point to read at least one Octavia Butler book a year. I'm sorry. I think that's fair. Do y'all think it's fair? I think it's fair. At least one a year. Because I love her so much.
Who are you picking? Because I need to look. I'm going on my book buying and my video game. I don't even know if you know this, but I'm going on a book buying and a video game buying.
Oh, because you do,
which is fine because I got a library. We got libraries.
Okay,
so whatever. But
I'll try to give you an outline. I just want more suggestions, because I still want to take people's suggestions into consideration. It's just we're no longer doing the whatchamacallit thing. The what is it called? Raffle thing that we normally do.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know what I'm looking at. I'll try to see. But stuff might change though, depending. So yeah.
We'll wrap this up because you said your deadline was midnight and you want to play games, so I won't keep you.
Okay. Well, I'll probably say till 11. Cause I gotta work to tomorrow and Wednesday, and Tuesday. So I hate this job. But thank you, Mo. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing this with me, because I was gonna be so mad and I was gonna complain the whole time because you know me and and I was like, y'all made me read this book and y'all not even gonna talk to me.
No, yeah, me and Trent definitely were talking about this book, in the rafters, because yeah. But and also to my Asian brother and sisters.
Hi, Brooks Tyrone.
I forgot, because I know some of you did not read this because it was very difficult, and yes. I see you and I hear you. So yeah, you are seen and you are heard.
Yes, you are, definitely, most definitely. All right, Mo. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye, bye, baby daddy. I had to say it. I know Deanna in here listening, so I had to make it known that I'm still in the picture. I'm still in the motherfucking house. I'm still in the house. You think I really give a fuck? Because I don't. Talk about Capricorn Queen, New York.
Shut the hell up! Damn!
silence. Jesus Christ. All right, thank you to everybody who's on YouTube. I don't think I'm gonna play a game because I wanted to play. Hold on, gotta do something real quick. I wanted to play. I wanted to finish this goddamn Bye Sweet Carol, but I don't know how long it's gonna take me, and I have a hard stop tonight. It's so hard, but I do have a hard stop tonight. So, if you're over on YouTube, I'm probably not gonna go live on the other YouTube channel. I think what we'll do is play some music and play some Tetris or something. I think music and Tetris. Music and Tetris. Yeah? No? Yes? No? Maybe? Let me know. I think that'd be nice. Play Tetris for a little bit and then yeah. So if you're over on YouTube, just come over to Twitch. I'm not gonna go live on the other YouTube channel. And I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for everybody on YouTube who comes out and watches me on the second channel. I keep saying this, and one day it's gonna be true. I have not forgotten about my reaction channel. I have not forgotten about my Patreon. I have things in my mind. It's just this month has been a shitty month for me. I have not been motivated. Y'all were lucky to get streams this month. I have not been motivated to do anything this month. So I don't know. It's always, you know, hopefully next year the new year grind will kick in. But yeah, thank y'all so much over on YouTube. If you want the party to continue, come on over on Twitch. We show our assholes. Thank you. We don't, but we show our tits though. Thank you, YouTube. Everybody say bye, YouTube.